Now, anyone that knows you is aware of your affinity for Indiana Jones.
Yes, with my
How that came
fedora.
to be, and how you ended up writing articles about the Indie series, which evolved into your first podcast called the IndieCast.
That's true. I'll tell you another long story, but I won't keep it short. I went to Catholic school. I was not a great student because I was too busy reading comic books and didn't really care about religion and history and all that stuff until Raiders Lost Ark came out. I was a huge Star Wars fan. And then I saw this movie was coming out, and I'm like, what's this George Lucas, Steven Spielberg thing happening? And then I went to see it, and a light went on in my head, and I said, oh, all that stuff that he's talking about, the Ark of the Covenant, the Mount Horeb, the Israelites going up there with Moses and all that. That was all the stuff that Mr. Parkinson, my religion teacher at Notre Dame High School in New Haven, was talking about. And the light clicked, and my F in religion suddenly turned into an A, and my F in history that I conveniently back then you could take a marker and just turn it into a B, so my dad didn't beat me up. They never knew, but that went up to an A too. So because of that movie, I fell in love with history and started learning about all the religions in the world and all that. And I love the movie poster art by a guy named Richard Amzell, who's a fantastic artist. He passed away very young, and I tried drawing like he did, and I want to be a movie poster artist. So I just fell in love with Raiders Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. I started learning all about history. Then I went into James Bond because it was adventure serials and that stuff. And before you know it, this thing called the internet comes around. And I literally just said, okay, I like talking about this. What do you guys want? They said, could you write some articles about Indiana Jones? And Rich knows I grew up in New Haven, and I used to complain all the time that nothing ever changed in New Haven. My parents grew up there. My grandparents grew up there. I grew up there. It's like the land that time forgot. And then lo and behold, one summer, 2007, they're filming a movie in New Haven. And my friend who works down in the New Haven area called up and said, hey, you should come out and try to get a job here because they're doing something. Nobody knows what it is. So I go down there, and sure enough, it turns out to be the fourth Indiana Jones movie, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Not loved by a lot of people, but the fact that on the same streets I grew up on, the same streets I used to walk to the comic store, walk to the movies with my grandma to go see Indiana Jones movies. Suddenly, Indiana Jones was there with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg walking around. The most bizarre dream come true. Like, you're like, why is this happening here? This is like Dullsville, USA, but yet here's Indiana Jones. So I started writing more articles about the filming and all that. And then my friend, who's now my friend, a fellow from Australia, was reading my articles on the internet and said, hey, I want to do this podcast. Do you want to be a reporter for me? And that was 2007, late November. And it's been, like 17 years now. So, yeah, we still do it. And we talked about everything involved with Indiana Jones, the movies, the sets, the acting, the props, anything. The guy who was the caterer on the job. And it got us invited by Lucasfilm. We went to the premiere of the Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. I've been to Lucasfilm. I got to tour the special effects houses and stuff just for a hobby.